Hello, this is Road Glide Rider, and this is an installation video of the 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input kit that I put on my 2021 Road Glide for my Sirius satellite radio. As you can see from the picture, it's real simple. It's a 3.5 millimeter jack with a plug that just plugs into the wiring harness. Now, as you can tell from the picture out of the accessory catalog, the cord itself comes really short plug itself. That is so it can reach the cubby holes in the fairing very easily. But I'm going to be running this out of the fairing into the instrument nacelle and then up the handlebars to the starting point where I'm going to mount the docking station. So what I've done is I went and I found a 3.5 millimeter extension, male to male. Then I got a female to female plug to join the two. And then I used dielectric grease on the plugs each side. Then I sealed those with heat shrink tubing. This way it will keep the dielectric grease in there. The plug will never come apart, and I'll have plenty of line to run from the place where the line plugs in under the fairing, up out of the fairing into the nacelle, then up to the top of the handlebars. Now I do plan on installing the tall boy handlebars onto my Harley. They should be in sometime this week. I ordered them and they should be coming in sometime this week. So I'll be installing that probably within the next week or so. And by having the extra line underneath in the nacelle, I will be able to get the extra 2 inches I need to put it up there. Now, the antenna, which is in this bag right here, has got a spot. It's got a long cord, so it'll reach. And I'll show you in the fairing where it mounts, because Harley conveniently has a metal spot for this, which is magnetically based, for it to mount in the fairing. And of course, the power cord uses a 12 volt outlet, and I have gotten a 12 volt socket that I'm going to mount inside the fairing. And on my 2009 Road Glide, when I installed this basically the same way, I just tapped off on the 12 volt, well, they call it a power outlet. It's the cigarette lighter in the fairing to power the satellite radio, because the jack is 12 volts, but the cord itself going to the docking station, I think it's 5.5 volts. So I could do one of two things. I could take the housings off of this and just hot wire it right to the thing, or I can put one of these inside the fairing. Now let me show you where the satellite radio antenna goes and where the plug goes. Now inside the fairing, Harley-Davidson conveniently placed a metal spot here. This is where the Sirius XM satellite radio module goes when you have the factory one in there. And of course, magnetically held, holds it in place, nice up above so it can actually pick up real good. The cord I have is nice and long, so it'll go in and go out and come out and go into the instrument itself. Now, this is the cord. It plugs in, is black, and matches the CB plug right here. Now, if you're going to add a CB plug, a CB to the satellite or to the fairing, you'll probably have to add these wires into the plug, because as you notice, there's only a couple of wires for the auxiliary input, but the CB has all kinds of other wires. So you'll probably have to add these into the CB plug if you add a CB. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to add a CB or not. We'll see. Now, if you have a, what is it, 2018 and above that has the GTS Infotainment Center, and you have a WIM, the wireless headset interface module, it only uses the gray plug to the module. That's all it uses. Now, if you have a 2014 to 2017, it requires a different harness, which has a plug for both the gray interface for the infotainment center, but it also uses the CB plug. So, like I said, you'll probably have to add that auxiliary input onto that. But I have a 2021, which means that I only have one plug if I add the WIM, and leaves my CB plug completely empty. So I'm going to start getting stuff run. Now what I plan on doing, if you look over here where the auxiliary input is, there's a lot of room here, so I'm probably going to mount the other plug right up in here. So it's a lot of room up in here. This right here, man, it's loose. Look at that, huh? Okay. So we're going to get going on that, and I'll be right back. Now, I've got the wires ran. Of course, here's the plug that plugged in. Satellite antenna's there. Cord up here. Now the 12 volt is still hanging. I haven't got that installed yet, but I got the wires ran. Got them bundled together, and they run inside here. I got my flashlight so you can see a little better. It's right here. The wire's right here. Right here, and it runs down inside. Now, I've got it coming out in the fairing, in the instrument nacelle, and I've got it run up through here. It comes out around here, and it comes out under the, here it is right here, it comes out, goes up here. I've just got it dangling up here. I've got more extra wire in here so I can pull up if I need it. I got them taped together so they don't fall apart. But now I just put the headlight back in, and I install this plug so I can plug in the power for the satellite. And when I get that installed, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Now, I got my flashlight on, as you see real good. What I did is I tied the socket with the satellite radio plug into the 12 volt and tapped into the cigarette lighter. Then I taped it up with duct tape and taped it to the power port so it doesn't fall around. Ran the wires up, came up through here, up behind the speaker, and comes out right here and goes down on there. Of course, here is the 3.5 inch plug plugged in here. Satellite radio's antennas up here. Extra wire bundled up here. And of course, I have the wiring in the instrument nacelle that you've already seen, coming up and terminating right here. Now, all I need to do is make the mount for the docking station, and it's done. I'm actually done in the fairing now. It's done. Now, one thing to remember is the instructions tell you to unplug the 50 volt amp fuse. Don't take chances. It's up to you. This is for instructions only. If anything happens, you do it on your own. When you have all this installed, you must take it to the dealer, have their digital technician activate the instruments, activate the auxiliary so that it works. Now I'm going to close the fairing up, and then I'll proceed to make the mounts for the docking station, and I'll show you when I get done. Now, before I put the upper vent back on, I want to show you what it looked like with the satellite antenna. The wire bundled up out of the way so that you'll know that this is out of the way. It's sealed up. It won't move anything. As a matter of fact, this antenna here, and this is the antenna for the GPS, which is the exact opposite. Now, if you get the WIM, it tells you the instructions. If you have a bat wing, if you have the satellite radio, the antenna has to move to the other side of where the WIM is, because in the bat wing it mounts on this side down here, and the road glide fairing it mounts over here, so it does not affect the satellite radio. But the kit, when you buy it, it comes with a relocation bracket, another plate to put it over here, where of course I'm sure this is where it is on the GPS on the Batwing also, because if you have the satellite radio, it's got to mount over here just like it is on the Batwing or the Road Glide. It's where the antenna for the satellite radio goes. Now I'm not going to use the Harley satellite radio. Like I said, I'm fixing to get the brackets and modify them to mount it up here on the handlebar. And I'll show you when I get it drilled out and ready to mount. Now, I've taken and I've drilled holes to get the mounts for this docking station onto the mount here. I drilled a few holes, I made some markings and stuff, but I marked it so that it sits out far enough that the screws can be screwed in that hold it in, but it's also all four mounts are on the plate so that it's nice and secure when the tuner is actually connected to it. Now I'm going to connect it to the handlebars. Well, here it is, mounted up on the handlebars. Everything's sealed back up. I'm going to plug my satellite radio into it, put it on accessory. See, it's coming on accessory. It do its little thing there. Now I'm going to power it up. Now, the only trouble with this is the, of course, right now, it's set up for the headphones. So let's get it set up. Audio settings, routing. Okay, music.
First in with crunchy peanuts, dipped in creamy nut butter coating.
Now,
Major volume.
Okay, right now I don't have, like I said before, is you have to take this down and have the digital technician activate. As you can see, I got nothing in here for the auxiliary. All I have is FM. So consequently, when I have this activated, it'll better come through in here. It's not set up that way yet. So, all I can say is, this is Road Glide Rider, and I think I'm going to stop it here, and I'm not going to publish this yet, because I'm going down tomorrow, because it's time for my 5,000 mile checkup, and I'm going to have them activate the auxiliary in this. I'll take the instructions with me. It tells them what to do, and when it's working, I'll finish this video up. So we'll see you tomorrow. Why, hello everyone, this is Road Glide Rider. I am finally back to finish up the SIRIUS external radio hookup into the auxiliary for the radio. Now I've got it on. I've got the satellite radio on. Now I'm not going to turn the sound of the radio on because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube for playing music that's copyrighted. Anyway, as you can see, I've got it on. I got the radio itself on. Now, the way it works, you go to this regular screen, then you go up to this right here to switch between AM and FM. If you look, it's actually got two auxiliaries because it's been 2 weeks because the first time I took it in, they hooked it up, and because I was hooking into, I told them I'm going to turn my satellite radio on, they activated the XM radio, which is inside the radio. It's nothing to do with this. And I took it back home and found out it wasn't working, so I took it back, and they spent about 2.5 hours looking and tracing and stuff. Turns out there are actually 3 auxiliary inputs for the radio. One of them being the XM radio. I bet you the second one is the CB. And actually he told me that they had activated auxiliary 1, which is the XM radio, and it didn't work. And then they searched it out and they had to activate auxiliary number 3, which is the cord that comes out and plugs into the satellite radio. Now, as you can see there, what you do is you go through that. You go from this, go up here to the selection of your bands, go over here to the proper one. There's auxiliary, and it comes up with a little cord right there. It tells you it's going to this right here, and that's where my music is coming out now. I got it set up on my headphones, so it's not going to come out on the headphones on the radio. Now, but my satellite radio is working. Now, to get the satellite radio to work like that, you need 3 cords up to the docking station. One is the voltage to power the thing, and what I did is I just hooked into the 12 volt down here internally to the jack, and it puts out 5 volts to power the satellite radio. And then also I have the antenna under the fairing, and it's come out here. It goes through into here and back up outside here. And then of course I have the cord plugged in also, and it works great. And as you can see also the difference between this and that, I've actually put the new handlebars on, which makes it nice. And so that's how you can actually run an external radio. You can hook it up for an iPod or anything else that uses a 3.5 millimeter jack. Now the instructions tell you to you can drill a hole and put it in here or on the other side and have it in a pocket, however you want to do it. I just did it this way. So I had one person ask me how I was going to do it, how I was going to route the power, and that's what I did. So I hope this helps people, and they'll be able to know how easy it is to add accessories on. So this is Road Glide Rider saying that I hope that everyone rides safe, and I'll see you on the road. This is Road Glide Rider, and one thing I forgot to say is if you like this video or find it usable or useful, like this video, and if you want to look at some others and you like those, you can subscribe, and it'll let you know if I'm putting any more out. Share this video with those Harley riders that might think about adding the 3.5 millimeter jack to their ride, the radio. So, like, share, subscribe, and this is Road Glide Rider. Say, I'll see you on the road. Ride safe.